Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 113th edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Jaden in a special episode where Zach isn't here, and I'm joined by Chess.com's 1100 Elo warrior Liam.
Yo, that's good. Hello.
And two very special returning guests because Zach talks so much that he needs to be filled up with two positions.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
not that he talks too much, it's just he carries a show. He was here 2 episodes ago reviewing Asian cinema, and we brought him back for his Asianness, so anything we say can't be called racist. And that's Mr. Andy Liao.
Hello. Racist.
Hello. And last we got someone that we haven't seen since American Psycho. We brought him back for no real reason. It's London Grammar's most disappointed superfan, Luke.
Hello. Very disappointed.
Very disappointed.
Yes.
I know. And dare they?
Very sad.
I know. It was going to be your first time going out, wasn't it? Ever leaving your house.
I mean, it would have been, yeah. You know, I did all of Year 12 from this house, so.
Exactly.
Never left.
Righto. This is the Cinema Effect podcast where we review a different movie or show every Monday. It tends to be movies, but we have done a few shows in the past, Liam, haven't we?
Like 2.
Indeed.
Like 4? 5?
Oh, what did we do? Twin Peaks. You did the Clone Wars. Is that?
You did Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld. Yeah. Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Oh, you did do that, yeah.
There you go. We should do another one for the fans, you know, just to keep it, to keep it going. Yeah.
Just to keep
TV
Andrew and
shows.
I invested.
Yeah.
TV shows.
Spice it up. Yeah. This week we are reviewing another movie though. It's the biggest film of recent times and certainly the most biggest film of 2019, and definitely not that $2 billion studio film. This is Parasite. The film was directed by Bong Joon-ho and had its premiere at the 2019 Cannes Film Festival. Its genre is a comedy thriller, and its synopsis reads: greed and class discrimination threaten the newly formed symbiotic relationship between the wealthy Park family and the destitute Kim clan. It also won a few Oscars, including Best Picture and also the Palme d'Or. It's pretty highly regarded. Let's open up discussion with Liam, you know, our regular.
Ooh, let's go, boys.
Yeah, let's knock it down a size.
What's that?
You know, you've talked it up as such a great film. Let's, knock it down.
Oh yeah, let's get it down to reality.
Yeah.
No, I really like it. I really loved it the first time I saw it. It's a really, really fun time. Yeah, I didn't like it as much this time, but I think it's still really amazingly constructed film, and it's a great heist movie. You know, it's a great genre film, I guess. And also has some stuff to say about things, which I'm sure we'll talk about for 4 hours. But no, yeah, I really like Parasite. It's a great movie. Who's next?
Awesome. I've got Luke next.
What do I think of Parasite?
Yeah.
I had absolutely no expectations going into this movie. So I think Liam messaged me and said, do you want to see Parasite? And I think I messaged him, do I have to see it or can I just wing it? But I was pleasantly surprised. It was actually quite fun. The only thing I had was the synopsis that I read on Stan, and that said it was a comedy. It was like a dark comedy, and I was like, okay, this might be funny, haha. I laughed a few times, but I don't think it's the comedy I thought it was meant to be. I think I misinterpreted dark comedy, but I was sort of going through the movie, and I was going pretty much up to the middle of the movie. I was going, where is this going? And then the lady comes back and they go downstairs. And I was like, what the hell is this? And it hooked me in again because I was really losing it. When they were sitting on the couch and they were talking about, I'll get married to this girl and then, I wonder what the other driver's doing. I was like, what are we doing? This is a little, But then they freaking go downstairs. I was like, what the hell is this? That hooked me back in again. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
When you went to China, you didn't go to South Korea as well, did you?
No, we
No.
only went to Beijing, Nanjing, and Shanghai.
Oh, okay.
He never learned how to say Hong Seo, so there's
Yeah.
no point really.
Andy, this is your second time watching it, Andy?
Yes, it would be my second viewing. Same thing. Like my opinions are pretty much similar to Liam's. I loved it the first time. I enjoyed watching this film as well. I thought this was really well crafted. Just didn't like it the first time around because first time experiences it's meant to be more profounding, I would say. You know, when I watched it the first time, I was expecting to come in thinking it was going to be overrated because, you know, won Best Picture and all that, got all the hype. But, like, so my expectations were high, unlike Luke's. And I was really, you know, it's a bit of a cliche to use the word speechless, but, you know, I was speechless watching it for the first time. I wouldn't say the same thing about the second viewing, but I still loved it overall. Even even if people didn't like Parasite because it was overhyped and overrated and all that stuff, you would still have to like admire how sharp the storytelling is, how detailed Bong's direction is. Yeah, I guess, you know, it's just a really great movie, no matter how much you don't like it. Um, yeah, and you know, like Luke said, halfway through the movie, a lot of things change. I really liked how Bong switched the tone of the film, like
Mm.
unexpectedly. You know, I think he's known for shifting the genre to a different vibe, I guess. But yeah, no, it's so good.
Mm.
And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people have talked about Parasite already, which is pretty stupid. But yeah,
Yeah, I think that's why we've been avoiding this film for so long, because it kind of is the one that everyone's talked about.
yeah.
Right?
I mean, when you guys invited me, I was like, really Parasite? But like, yeah, I guess we'll
Now's the
see what
perfect time for it,
happens.
isn't it?
Mm.
Um,
No one cares about it. The perfect time to discuss
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah,
Get all
Exactly.
those YouTube views. Let's go.
Squid Game. Woo. Okay.
I think I'm pretty on par with all you guys. Probably more so with Luke with the fresh eyes perspective, because this is my first time watching it. Ages ago, Henry put up a review in Letterboxd that just simply read "very epic, Comrade Junho," and like that's the only review that I resonate with, and I agree with 100% because it is very epic, and it certainly has that socialist connotation to it. The major drawback is probably something that both Liam and Andy was describing similarly. It's just that the pacing is it's odd. It's not that it's bad. It's just that because of how snappy the first act is, it's just constant.
Mm.
You know, event happens. You know, it's like the pace is kind of relentless, and just in this is introduced to us, it happens. It's introduced to us, it happens. So then when it finally relents, it kind of feels like there's only 40 minutes of a movie that's meant to be left, but there's not 40 minutes. There's another hour and a bit.
That's exactly
So like, yeah. So this isn't a case of, you know, things that should be cut. It's more just it's just that because I was never bored by the remainder of the film. It's just that you do feel the entire runtime, and that can kind of drag a bit and wear a bit. But no, I think it is still pretty superb.
I think I do agree with you about the pacing. When I watched it the first time, it does seem a bit odd at times. Like one thing happens and another thing happens, like in a very odd manner. But
Mm.
like, regardless of how you think the pacing is, I think it's a very funny, tense, and an angry movie in sort of way. That's probably why the odd pacing seems odd to you. I used the word odd 4 times.
Yeah, it's not. I think maybe odd was wrong for me to say. It's just that it was a big change up.
Oh,
In like from so relentless to kind of becoming almost slow burn, and then, you know, before kicking it up a notch again at the end. You know, there was just this big kind of, and it's not really right to call it a plateau or anything like that, because it's not like it was a lack in the film. It was an intentional design. So it is just an interesting way that was set.
Can I just ask a question? Because this bugged me like for the entire film. How old is the daughter that?
Oh, she's high school age.
high
Because
school.
Yeah.
I know that seems
yeah.
stupid. I know that age is really weird in Korea. I think there's 3 different ages. There's the age of your birth, and then there's also the New Year's age. So Koreans have 2 different ages. You can have your Korean age or your birth age. So I was like,
Oh,
do you know that
right.
sort of thing? And then I think
Because
there's, I think
That
there's,
applies to Vietnamese people as well, I'm pretty sure.
oh, they have the same thing, do they? Where they all sort of get a year older at New Year's, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
apparently my mum said she was like born in 1972, but in Vietnam she's like born in 1971, so I don't.
Yeah, it's, and I think there might even be a third for like National Korea Day or something like that. A special third day.
It's funny because I only what you're talking about. I only just saw like a video on like yesterday where like they are born at 1. It's like that's kind of like
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Cheat code.
I was like, are they sort of playing fast and loose with that? Because it seemed I didn't know how old they were, and it because what Mr. Kevin, he said he was going to university, wasn't he?
Mr. Kevin. Oh yeah. So I'd put him probably about a few years older than us. Like he's probably early 20s. And I'd say that the daughter he's tutoring is probably like 17 or 18.
Yeah, probably.
Regardless, he was he was going to ask her out after, once she enters university. So I wouldn't really worry about the age.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but he was passionate in the
they
bedroom.
still hashed.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You didn't do that with any of the kids you were tutoring at our school?
No, I didn't because I have integrity.
What about in China?
What?
Oh, no, that doesn't make sense. Never mind.
Yeah. All right, we'll start off with the big stuff, I guess. Actually, class commentary. It's an obvious part of the product. It's never overbearing, but it's always present, which is a good thing. Every South Korean product really tends to comment on class in some way. If you've seen one, they all have their own way of saying it. Squid Game is probably the other massive example that does it. Liam, how did you feel about class commentary in this one?
I don't know. I think it's it's well executed. I guess I don't know. It's like they show the two lifestyles, the difference between them very well, and yeah, I think there's like a lot to pick apart. But mainly, it's just it's just a great. The difference is portrayed really well. So
yeah, I think this is probably definitely the best depiction I've seen of it, because not necessarily more nuanced. Probably is, but just beyond that, I think it's just having such a stark comparison, but then seeing them integrate as well. It just creates a very interesting dialogue, like within the film.
Yeah, I mean the direction, like really like enhances it. Like at the start, it's pretty much just really claustrophobic, and like you get the picture like the socks and stuff as the opening image, and then when he goes up to the house, it's like the camera just like twirls around, the whole space.
When he's showing
It
the
feels so
garden
great.
and all that.
Yeah, it's like awesome. Yeah.
Spooky as someone that's been in a communist country for like 2.5 months.
I mean, I was sort of wondering what the movie was about. And a question I constantly asked myself throughout watching the movie was, what is the parasite? So I was sort of saying, well, is it the family? Because they're sort of leeching their way into the Park family, and so they're the parasite. And then I was thinking, is it the dude that was pissing outside their the recurring dude pissing outside their room? I was like, nah, it's silly. And I was like, well, is it meant to be like symbolic, and that it's sort of money and greed that's the parasite? And I was like, well, I didn't really get it. I mean,
I think that last option is probably the safest one to go with.
were the Parks really that bad though? That's what I'm like. I understood that the Kim family, like Mr. Kim and Mr. Kevin and all that, I understood that they were poor, and I understood they were from lower class. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, they're supposed to be positioning them against an upper class, where like the lower class is sort of meant to be the good guys, and then the upper class is meant to be the bad guys. But I didn't really see them as bad, and that made me question whether or not I cared for the Kim family, because like objectively they're committing crimes, but the movie's from their perspective, so you're sort of meant to sympathize with them. But I don't know if I could ever get there until the end. I sort of got there at the end, but even still, it's like I don't know, and maybe that's intentional. Maybe the point of it is to show that the upper class are being classist subtly, where it's like Mr. Park, he comments that the dude smells, but he still like tolerates him and still hires him. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't force him to get a new deodorant, or doesn't force him to shower or anything like that. Like, sure, he sort of bitches about it with his wife, and then his wife sort of has the same sort of reaction. But they don't. So then, but like, if they were really bad, they would say something to him, or like the film could have easily have done that. The film could have easily have sort of put the leaders or the Parks as like, or like the husband specifically as a bully, and then he could sort of be berating the driver and all that. But they didn't, which confused me a little bit. So I was sort of wondering, well, who am I supposed to be rooting for in this movie? There was no CGI bad guy like any Marvel movie. I was, my little mind was too confused. I didn't know
Destroying
what
your
to do.
brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you think that money is the Parasite, Jaden? Is that what you think is the safest viewing of this film?
Well, I agree. So yeah. So first, I agree with your point of it's a bit muddy as to where the evil actually lies, and that's it. And for that reason, like that kind of acts of violence at the end is it I don't like it. It just feels too random, and like it's a Bong Joon-ho film. I mean, you have to expect it. So I mean, like it was kind of coming, but I don't like how it arrived there.
Which act of violence, though? If I can just quickly get in, do you mean the dude that
Mr.
was locked in the
Mr.
basement?
Kim's no, Mr. Kim
Yeah,
stabbing Mr.
that's
Park
that's.
specifically.
That I was sort of thinking. Yeah, I agree with that a little bit.
And I knew that people would be saying like the basic thing is that it's just a build up over time, and it's meant to represent like just kind of the frustration, and
Mm.
like that is kind of the peak of frustration where like at the end of the film when Mr. Park is trying to say he has to drive his son to the hospital to save his family, he has to get the car keys, but he's still turning his nose up towards the poor because he still smells that smell.
He's also dead. So
Yeah,
like, well, and,
but like
and the dude has also been living in the basement for 4 years.
he
So
doesn't know
like,
where that dude came from.
that's true. The news reports do say that he was
Yeah.
homeless.
Like whatever I was trying to say. Yeah, that's I agree with you there. But I think the film goes to show that the money is more parasitic in the way that the two poor families turn against each other. The fact that to me it seemed like such an obvious thing that they would have just been like, yeah, cool, you can stay there and we'll just sneak shit up there. Like they should have understood that. But pretty much as soon as they come in, they treat her. As soon as she comes back to find her husband, they treat her with suspicion, and then obviously she finds out, and she goes to report them, and then there's a lot of fighting and shit, and even like when the son goes to make peace, obviously being the big one, he just gets fucking bludgeoned to death. Well, not to death, sorry, because he doesn't
Wait,
die.
you say the son goes to make peace?
Yeah, with the stone.
Was that
No,
what he was doing?
I thought
I thought he was going down to kill him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you see,
same.
that's the other thing. I never once thought that, and I understand like there's a bit
Really?
of discussion around that because they get the stone at the start of the story, obviously, and he goes, "This is very metaphorical, It's like it's meant to bring wealth."
Mm.
And I do not think like it does not seem at all that he was going down to kill them. To me, it seems like he was going down to give them the stone to try and bring them to good wealth because they got good wealth when the stone came to them. Like that's what it seemed like to me, and that's why like the money seems kind of the parasite to me.
That's an interesting viewing. I didn't think that at all. My interpretation was that the dad didn't have the balls to do it, and the son said, "I'll do it." Because he probably feels more responsible than everyone else because he's the one who invited. He got all his family in that situation. So I
Hmm.
thought it was him saying, well, or almost it was him saying, this rock has done nothing for us. It's made us wealthy, but just as fast as it made us wealthy, it took it away. So I'm
I
going
hadn't
to
taken
use
everything away
this.
yet, though.
Had it? They were sleeping in a gym. I
Huh?
thought that was sort of
Right. Yeah, I forgot about
like
that. Yeah,
when the flood washes everything away.
yeah,
I was
true,
sort
true.
of thinking, well, this is him sort of saying this, this metaphorical rock is stupid, so I'm gonna kill them with it. That's how I interpreted it.
Same here. I agree. Like I would say I agree with Luke, but that's how I interpret it as well. Same as Luke. I thought he was going to try to beat them up to a pulp with the rock. So all this guilt
Mm.
or worry is over, basically. But uh, this is the one thing I do have a problem with in the second viewing, that the character moments are pretty iffy towards the third act, especially the guy, the son. Like, do you remember when they said he was a scout, a boy scout
Yep.
at the start of the film? Like, how could a boy scout draw a fucking rock? Like, couldn't he just maintain that grip on the rock instead of dropping it? To...
Well, the reason why that was okay with me was because I was under the impression that he was going down there to kill them. So he would be nervous and jittery, hence he dropped the rock down the stairs.
He
If you were
did.
trying to look at through Jaden's perspective in that he was going down to make peace, then maybe he's worried that they'll attack him, or maybe he's worried that, well, I don't know. I don't know what he would be worried
I
about
mean,
if it was
it's a big rock. I mean, it just slips out of his hand.
Yeah.
a big rock, I guess. But he made such a big deal about how it clung to him, and then he just happens to drop it. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, come on, man. You can like you had to fucking drop when you walked down the stairs. Like
Mhm.
you had one job to do.
Who tripped down the stairs when the two wives were downstairs and all the people were hiding? Who was the one that actually tripped and knocked them all down?
I feel like I saw a female foot, so it was probably Ji Sung.
So
That
it was she died, right? Jessica, like Miss Jessica, she died, right?
yeah, Ki Sung,
She,
Jessica. Yeah,
she
that's right.
deserved it. If she's going to trip her family down the stairs, well, that's what you get.
Look, back to where you talked about how the can I call them peasants, by the way?
Call who?
No, no.
No, you can't. Oh,
Just call him. I mean, like, it's fine, but just call him lower class. I mean, like, it's just,
all right, fine. Like back to what Luke said about lower class, meet lower class in that scene. I think they are very similar in ways. Like it's something about lower class people. They wouldn't help each other. Like it's more of a dog eat dog world, that sort of thing. So like, regardless if the family weren't going to fall downstairs and get found out by the maid.
Hmm. You don't think they would have helped them?
Yeah, I don't think the mother would have helped the husband-wife couple because that is the trait of the lower class. They probably would have to look out for themselves instead of rather.
Is that a trait of the lower class, or is that a trait of a lower class who has recently come into wealth and power? Because I think perhaps if they weren't in the situation that they were in, because I think they were talking to, like at the start of the film, they were talking to their neighbors and all that, and they seemed to get along. And even like when it was flooding and everything, the neighbors were like, "Hey, help me move this bike," and they sort of did it. Whereas I feel like the reason why they didn't help when they were downstairs is because they'd gotten a taste of the wealth already. Like they had just had that sort of drinking on the couch sort of thing, fantasizing about their hypothetical wealth. And I think the point would be strong. It would be stronger to make the point that it's the wealth that's infected them, the parasite, and that's why they didn't help the lower class. I don't know if you could say in this film at least that the lower class would eat the lower class without there
Yeah,
being some sort of parasite to infect them.
no, I think you did sort of shock my mind a bit. No, you're right. It probably does have something to do with the rise of
Mm.
wealth that made them behave like this. Like, like you're right. Like it's very universal, this sort of stuff, especially to Asians. Like I would still think that the lower class wouldn't help another lower class family in some ways. I think they keep the wealth to themselves, that sort of thing.
I
And
don't think so. I'm pretty sure, like, statistically, that's, like, incorrect as well. Where, like, lower income people, like, statistically give away more of their wealth to, like, charity and whatever.
mhm.
But, like, I mean, Andy, us two live in the northern suburbs, and I mean, like,
Yeah,
you know,
I wouldn't help your
there's
family, Joan. So
there's constant like food drives and there's constant like helps for like things. All you need to you go down to like the local center and there's constantly things set up to make sure people get what they need. Like I think there definitely is a camaraderie in struggling. But I also think like it definitely can get selfish as well. I think like most things there's a dichotomy to it. But I think more often than not I think you'll see a bit of service.
Mm.
mm.
Why do you think that the young boy was laughing at the end? That took me by surprise a little bit. I was starting to think, are they, going Joker? Is he going to go insane, sort of thing?
Which
But
young
then
boy?
they said like, oh, it's a side effect of the brain injury sort of thing.
Ah,
But it's got to be on purpose. Like, there's no way it would be in the film. So is it sort of meant to say he's laughing at the fact that he had so much, or his family had so much wealth and they lost it because they were selfish? Or is there something else that I just didn't see? It came across a little weird to me.
No, yeah, no, it did seem weird at first, but like if you go
Especially
back,
when he laughed at his sister's memorial. I was thinking, okay, he's laughing here, his mother's not. So there must be something that the director's trying to tell us in this situation why he's laughing.
I think with Bong's films, because I've watched them this
Mm.
week, the dark humor is very obvious in his films. So like a lot of things are random, I guess, but
Or you
like
think it's just dark humor?
it is, yeah. He's very good with that, to be
Mm.
fair. But it seems like that laugh is to like point out at the start of the film that his mate offered him the job to be someone's English teacher, and then all the chaos just kind of like
It's sort of like how else is he to react but laugh sort of thing.
yeah, it's like irony, like oh look what just fucking
Yeah.
happened. Yeah,
Okay.
here we are. It's like it hits you, and that sort of thing just like makes the entire film feel more. I wouldn't say satisfied, but feel more. I had a word, but then it just fell in my brain.
Actually, an idea just came to me, which I wish I had said 10 minutes ago. So maybe I can edit it back, but who knows? When they were drinking on the couch, they were saying, "Oh, I hope that guy found another job. I hope that the driver found something." So that's to support Jaden's point that
Ah,
the
right.
lower class are considered of the lower class. But then that sort of so then I wondered. So then, that's
They,
strange because
they
that
didn't ask her the housemaid, which is
contradicts
pretty
what the
funny.
mum did. The dad and the son both were going, "Oh, I'm sure he got another job. I hope he got another job. He was a good driver." But then it was the daughter that said, "Who cares about him? Let's care
Yeah.
about us." And it was the mother that refused, the mother that threatened to call the police. So why is it that the women behave that way, but the men behave the other in that specific instance?
So you're suggesting that there might be a gender.
I
Uh,
don't know. It just seems weird because up until that point, the family seemed so united. It seems like they all shared the same ideals.
Yeah, actually, yeah. No, that reminds me of something I read in the trivia, and like something that Junho addressed in an interview. It was nothing about the gender though. I think it was just he had to pick characters.
They just
It
have
was
to pick them.
yeah, it was about showing that when wealth comes into play, there is always a I can't remember what he used, but there's always a tension, and right, and like it was about showing that even a tight knit clan like the Kim family,
Yeah.
like even amongst them, when wealth starts to become a factor, there is tension that gets brought up, and that was him. That was him just showing that.
Yeah.
I don't think it wasn't necessarily a gender thing in the characters that he chose.
It was just the characters that they chose. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
And I think I think story wise it probably suits more. Perhaps I think just with the character that we're shown overall, like what we're shown of them at least,
Mm.
is the way it sits.
I love that the family at the start are so excited about like committing forgery and
Wi-Fi.
things like that.
Mm.
Like that,
2G.
I loved all that stuff, and especially when they were like trying to get the Wi-Fi signal. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's funny." I enjoyed that. That made me excited to continue watching the movie.
That was me when I came to Vietnam though, because we had horrible reception at the village we lived in. Because it was
Just
like
looking for free Wi-Fi.
yeah, because my family in Vietnam were country bumpkins,
Mm.
so like we barely had any reception there. Like I remember, going to the village for the first time. I had to like run, climb up a roof to actually get
That's
some
gross.
connection. It's like yeah, no, it's quite relatable in the sense that opening scene that you mentioned, Luke.
Mm.
Yeah,
Nice.
so yeah,
Yeah.
it resents me in some
The
ways.
the family at the start is really good. They feel really close, and it's really funny as well. I mean, the stuff with the Wi-Fi, the pizza boxes and stuff.
Mm.
And then they kind of like crowd around that girl who's just like she's like a small business owner, I guess, of the pizza
Oh yeah, yeah. They're
restaurant,
like,
which I didn't realize.
hire
I thought
me.
it was like the first time I saw her, I thought it was just like some chain or something, but this time I realized she's like it's her
Small
own
business
business
owner.
with her brother, yeah. And
I
they bring that up a few times, like the ambitions of like different businesses and stuff. It's like it's a cool inclusion, I guess.
Okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was like a Domino's pizza or something like that. Like I thought it was a
Oh
friend
yeah, that's what I thought the
tried
first
to
time. But they say like they like to you can't even afford a real like box over, and they say she's like the boss with her brother. They're like
That's true, yeah.
Is
I did think that was weird that they were saying that. It would be like saying to a McDonald's employee, like, how come you don't hire more staff? It's like, well, it's not really my fault. I'm just an employee. I did think that was weird.
I mean,
With
it
that
could still
context,
be
it makes more
explained
sense.
because each store has a manager, and then that manager is responsible for the store. So
oh
it could
yeah,
be that.
that's true.
there a job such as that in Australia where you can organise?
No, not a sole job to fold pizza boxes.
Ah,
It would be in a pizza place. If you were the dish boy or like you did the dishes, you would probably fold boxes as well. I would say that's how it would work. I don't think the chefs would. I mean, they would if it was quiet, but I think it would be sort of the junior staff that they get in on casual rates and things like that.
Yeah, it seems more like loose in this, but oh yeah, what Luke said like half an hour ago. What did you say? Oh yeah, talking about like the characterization, like the rich aren't like abusive or anything.
Mm.
I kind of like that. Like the rich family, they're not like overly abusive or mean, and the poor family aren't shown to be overly smart. Like the dad is even shown to be kind of
Yeah.
a bit bumbling and lazy, kind of like kind of a Homer Simpson kind of thing. But like yeah, I like that because it makes it not simplistic. It makes it a bit different. And I think, as Jaden says, it puts a greater focus on the two poor families and their like everyone like being desperate for themselves, kind of, and that kind of that adds to the movie a lot. It gives a different vibe, different experience.
Yeah. I think the rich family were well developed, especially the father. Like he was very nice throughout the whole film until the point where at the rich family's son's birthday party, the Indian themed party, like
Yeah.
Mr. Park or Mr. Kim, who's Park?
Mr. Kim. He said something along the lines of, I'm paying you to do this. Right?
Yeah, that was a line that definitely threw us off. Like,
yeah.
Mr. Kim, like he was so emotional about oh, you love your wife so much. Like it was a very good moment until he was like, look,
well,
you get
something that I was confused about, and maybe it's because it's to do with this. Maybe it's just because I wasn't reading the subtitles correctly. But so Mr. Kim was talking about how he doesn't want he doesn't want a driver who crosses the line.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Park.
Yeah, Mr. Park said. Who did I say?
Same thing. Same thing.
Oh, Mr. Park said that. Or did I say Mr. Kim?
You said Mr. Kim.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, Mr. Park said that. But then Mr. Kim does. Like, he suggests the service. And he also, before he suggested the maid service, he said something along the lines of, you love your wife, don't you? Which felt really weird to me, because that felt like the kind of thing that was crossing the line. But he let it go. So then, at the end, when he was like, "You love your wife, don't you?" and he said, "You're paying for, I'm paying you to do this."
Yeah.
It's like, well, he said that before, and you didn't mind. So I was a little, maybe I just misread it. Maybe he wanted someone.
Well, I think when there's questions, when Mr. Kim like asks those questions, Mr. Park. That's one of the weird moments in the film I can't really figure out, but he kind of like gives him a sarcastic laugh, I guess. I think like it's saying like love is more important to Mr. Kim than Mr. Park, and Mr. Kim like doesn't like, he kind of disrespects. He doesn't respect Mr. Park as much because he doesn't seem to like love his wife as much, I guess. Yeah. He says we'll call it love,
Yeah, that's right. He does. Yeah, when he's asking for pork or was it beef, braised beef or something?
The pork ribs or
something. I don't know. I ate food, but I don't know.
Yeah. That seems pretty important because that's one of the things that like kind of riles Mr. Kim up, as well as the smell, which annoys me. Like every time like he smells, like it's just annoying.
It annoys me every time I watch Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Zach, I want this in the recording. Ron smells.
Hey, you have Mr. Park mentality there. He's from a poor family, lots of brothers.
Living in the borough, 7 people.
Fred and George smell nice. I'm sure they do. I'm sure Fred and George smell awesome. But Ron just doesn't. Ron, you need to he needs a haircut for starters. And he needs to stop wearing singlets. Oh, I'm just done.
This was like 15 years ago.
Is it a bad time to say that I have not seen Harry Potter?
That's fine.
That's fine.
I think also in that scene that you're talking about, just with
Ron smelling.
No, where Mr. Kim and Mr. Park are talking in the garden about to, and like the end they're about to attack the cake. Like acknowledging the fact that like Mr. Kim's house was just fucking flooded in the storm of the century as well, which is a phenomenal scene as well in itself. But like the fact that he just lost almost everything there apart from his family. It is why he's out of it and why he's so and like the fact that they were in a fucking shelter, that morning and they get called last minute to this opulent birthday in the suburbs. It just builds and adds to all the things about it adds to the fact it adds to the smell, it adds to those little comments that he makes. So like I think that's important to just kind of be aware of it because like you're kind of talking about like that conversation in like a isolated context, but like
Yeah, that's
it
true.
very much is a build up of like the
It's a
past day's
snowball,
events
yeah.
and more than that. Yeah.
I hate to nitpick continuity and all that, but I'm surprised their phones still worked after going through all that flood. Like,
Yeah, the Nokias, mate. Nothing can kill them.
Do I have some trivia for you about that?
Oh,
you
not
know,
good.
As a screenwriter, Bong Joon-ho says he really hates elements like CCTV recordings, mobile phones, and other technological advancements that get in the way of the story.
So is that why
And
the CCTV was cut?
yeah,
Hmm.
and I really admire that because like so often, and I think in a lot of modern films and just people criticizing older products as well that it's like oh CCTV would have got this or someone would have recorded that on the phone. And it makes telling crime stories very hard.
Mm.
So in his way of like not of either like he a very easy bypass in this film or like just not acknowledging it. I really admire that. So I thought that was a good bit of trivia.
it is,
Oh,
yeah.
very
And
nice.
also,
Something to
Yeah.
keep in mind when I write my own films, but yeah. If I ever get to make one.
So was that camera at the end? Was it like the wire cut or something? Because I just saw the camera
Yeah.
pointed out of the garage. I didn't see
The
it.
housemaid cut the wire. When
Yeah,
she
before
came back to
Jensen.
pick up her husband, she cut
Oh
the wire
right, I forgot
beforehand,
about that
and
detail.
she says,
Yeah,
"Oh, don't worry, I cut the wire, so no one will know
that's
I was
right.
here. Let me just
Yeah.
take my husband," sort of thing.
I think that's pretty good because Mr. Kim did end up hiding in that thing without being seen. People keep saying
Yeah,
that it's thin air.
I want to see the extended cut of this film where it shows
No,
the
it's not
housemaid
nearly.
climbing up the telephone wire and cutting the CCTV. I want to see that happen.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think they would have shown it. They might not, but like,
Nah,
yeah,
definitely, they wouldn't have shown it. Nah. This would have been funny.
Bong's pretty distinctive with what he wants. Like, he would never, like say that he releases a DVD for his films. He will never have delayed scenes. He always shoots the coverages, and he knows what to edit in his films. He would never have like a missing or a delayed
Yeah,
thing.
that's actually something else I read. I didn't take note of that one, but now that you said that,
Oh,
like he has really extensive storyboards, and he knows always what to shoot, so that he never has to shoot coverage. Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
was going to mention that. Well, you mentioned it already, but thank you.
Hmm. Well, like this.
Jaden, sorry, let me go.
There you go. Sorry.
Well, I'm going to completely change the topic. So if this is something,
Okay, I'll stand on it. I'm gonna say that this film is like pretty meticulous in like its detail. Like even the peaches, like when they're fighting, the peaches come back into it where like she
yeah,
like smashes it in her
rubs
face.
it on her face.
And there's like the scout, the Boy Scout thing where
Mm.
like he can read the Morse code, and there's the
Oh,
CCTV.
shit.
All these details. I know. Yeah.
he fucking reads it wrong though. Like what a dickhead. They like the boy still reads the Morse code wrong, and like that's why like
Oh yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
subtitles say hope for us so we can like understand. But like in like the Korean lettering, like he makes like a fundamental mistake where he just won't be able to like translate the word
Oh,
properly
does
at
he?
all.
Oh, okay.
Well, doesn't
So
it?
like
Yeah, it's meant to be help me, but instead of an E, it's an O, isn't it?
yeah, but you see the Koreans don't speak English, so like
Yeah.
in
Well,
Korean,
That's what the subtitles say. Yeah.
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 If it was in Zhongwen, it might be easy for us, Luke. So
Not Navy, yeah.
yeah,
Maybe.
Zhongwen.
Jaden, I was going to ask you, because I know that you're a bit of a score buff, what did you think of the score of this film? In particular, the last scene, when it's... I really enjoyed the last scene, because it was stuff, it was on the window that had been viewed so many times before, and you see Mr. Kim walk through, but the camera doesn't follow him. It stays back, and he moves in, and then you see the son walk to him and give him a hug, and then you see the mother
Yeah.
walk over, but all that time the camera doesn't change, and the score in that is like going, it's like, yeah. It was like, I thought it was a really nice ending to the film.
It is very warm.
Mm.
I cried the first time watching it, but then after just getting pissed off by the character moments, well, particularly the son, the one that got hit by a rock twice. I didn't cry as much. I didn't even feel remorse or anything about it. I was like, meh. But the score is pretty nice. I agree with Luke.
I really like the score as well when it's raining.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah.
Oh,
big time.
that
It's
was
like, oh, that's so good. I like it.
I know it's cheap and easy when talking about scores, but like when they do swell in these big dramatic moments, like it's always so fucking
Oh yeah.
effective.
I love
And,
the
like,
I love the like the peach montage.
that was
Mm.
badass. Yeah, the peach montage.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's that theme that's like stuck in my head. That's like probably the main theme of the movie, which is like dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun,
It's the
dun-dun.
kind of playful one, like the
Yeah.
They use
There's
that
that
very
one.
well in the montages, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when they had to clean up because someone was out the door, the housemaid. Especially when the girl Jessica, when Jessica like has to like sweep under the floor and hide under the table immediately. The music just stopped. It was like in perfect sync. The cuts, the tempo. It was all amazing. The music that Liam mentioned.
Hell yeah.
What would you do if you and your family were stuck underneath a table while two other people were having
Clapping
sex
each
on
other.
the couch? Wouldn't that just be the most awkward thing in the world?
The rich mother turned me on throughout the whole movie.
Oh,
Right now, no,
she was young and simple.
yeah, very young and simple. I love how ditzy she is. Like she's actually probably my favorite character in the film. Before Jessica.
I thought I think because Bong Joon-ho he's kind of known for pulling the rug out a bit and like switching his films up a bit, like Andy said. So like when the basement got revealed, I thought it was going to be like this family's like into like this really sinister shit where they keep poor people.
Oh wow.
And, like,
I thought it was like a weird sex dungeon.
yeah,
Wow, I didn't
I
think of that.
I
Wow.
was like, oh my god, they're keeping all the previous housemaids and shit. They're gonna, oh my god, this is
Yeah,
terrible. They're gonna,
That's best picture worthy.
it's gonna be like some fucking Saw-esque type thing. But
Especially since they were like, when they were talking about getting rid of people, they were like, how do you fire them? Oh, let's just make up some excuse.
yeah.
It's like they lock them in the basement.
Oh, yeah, I was like, oh my god, this is where the
Yeah.
driver's going. Oh no,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, that
It's
would
like
be
some like
Turns
Yeah,
out they
it's
are
a
even
cliche
more
though.
simple because they
Yeah.
don't know about their basement. So like,
yeah. That sounds like some handmaiden like type of show.
yeah.
Oh.
Honestly, yeah.
I didn't
That
see a
sounds like
Park
that.
Chan
So,
Wook
Like
film one day.
sadistic. Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't seen a Park Chan Wook film yet, so
Oh yeah.
Uh,
handmaiden.
don't spoil anything.
Did you enjoy the mother? In like, were you annoyed that she was so easily manipulated, Jaden? Not what I meant. Did like I was sort of thinking like,
They're gullible though.
yeah, I wasn't bothered. I thought when they were sort
Same.
of talking about, we can pull a fast one on her. I was thinking, is this going to annoy me? And they're going to be like obnoxiously stupid. But they weren't like it. The tuberculosis thing annoyed me. That
The thing?
Yeah, that was probably
that
was
annoyed me, but
the
I was
biggest
fine
strike.
with getting rid of the driver. I thought that was fine. I was like, I believe that this is an action someone would take. If someone, took a photo and said, I would just ask, oh, do you have tuberculosis or something like that? We're a rich family. You're a good maid. Maybe we can help. Because they weren't assholes. Like, I believe that the family could have provided medical care for the housewife. I don't see that as something super far-fetched. So I think it's really weird that
Well,
something like that wouldn't have worked with the husband, but it works with the wife because she's presented as being super gullible, whereas the husband's sort of semi gullible. So it's like that annoyed me a little bit.
well, the wife said like they've been through like multiple art teachers for the kid, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're pretty like the people that work in the house are pretty like expendable. She doesn't care that much if they
Yeah, but haven't they?
get replaced.
They've had the maid for 4 years, and
Yeah.
even when
Yeah,
they
but
were
that's because she's like
together-
clinged on, and she's like because
Parasite.
that's part of
Must
it.
have been, must have been really hard to get the maid fired as well, because
Yeah, I think
They said
Well,
it
I
was
think-
difficult to do that because she was so good.
yeah. What's interesting is that although Mr. Park is where the money comes from, it seems that his wife is who controls it because he's always talking about getting the people paid or like dishing this out and doing that. So like it seems like at the end of the day it is Mrs. Park's choice as to who stays on, and it seems like she is in control of the money despite Mr. Park being the breadwinner.
I don't know.
Which is
That's a. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, I think she's the one that like decides who like does the housework and stuff.
yeah.
But I think that's just because the husband doesn't care. I don't think it's because she has power. I think it's just because the husband just says, "I don't care about this."
you can
Yeah,
hire
but,
anyone you
that's
want.
why, but that
I don't
like
give a
that
fuck.
it just kind of adds to the thing about like you were saying it won't work with the husband, but it doesn't need to work with the husband because he doesn't get a say. Is kind of what it was.
Yeah, but doesn't he bring back all those electronics that one time? And the wife's like, "Where did this come from?" Isn't that
From
him?
his work because he's working like
They're
tech.
rich. Just
Yeah, but like that's him sort of making financial decisions. When does the wife? I mean, I guess the wife does the shopping.
Well,
The-
it was just in the paying of the people. Like she gives Kevin, I forget his actual keyword. I think maybe his name was. She gives him like a big bonus on his first lesson, just because he's passionate about his jobs or whatever.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
like the rate that she pays these people is kind of insane. It's
Yeah,
like,
well,
yeah,
she like interviews people and like hires them and pays them.
yeah.
Yeah,
True. Would it be wrong for me to say the wife is a bit stupid, like lazy and all that? She does nothing at home.
Well, I don't know if that's because
Because we were introduced to her sleeping outside, and then there was also another
well,
show where
that's right. Yeah, and the housemaid was like, wake up,
like,
the dudes, the tutor guys here.
yeah, and there was
Mm.
also another show where she was sleeping, and there was a tracking shot of Mr. Park walking, and then you can see the wife sleeping and waking up straight away
Mm.
as soon as he walked home. So like back to the gender thing we were talking about. It's
Yeah,
not,
but it could be a gender thing if it was supported by everything else. But every other female in the film is probably one of the smartest people in the room.
oh yeah,
Specifically, the daughter and all of her sort of IT things. That's really what allowed them to do everything. And then the definitely the daughter is very intelligent, and definitely the previous housemaid has
Mm.
intelligence and power. I'm hesitant to say that the Kim wife is intelligent,
she's more badass. The
but she
middle one.
hasn't. Yeah, but she doesn't do anything stupid to me. So
Nah, she never
that's
does.
why I'm hesitant to say that she's not intelligent, or in terms of the personality trait that the film's trying to present them as. So
I would say she's more streetwise. Are you talking about the mother of the poor family?
yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like the way she kicked down the housemaid as soon as the housemaid tried to climb up and yell out to the Park family. She was like just like it was a no look
Yeah,
kick.
when he kicked her down the stairs.
Yeah, I laughed at that part.
What did you think of that set piece? In the sense that it's a shelf wall and then a dark hole that leads to the basement, and people just disappear into the hole. That was something that I really enjoyed every single time I saw it. I never got sick of it. Like
It was
when she
unexpected.
disappeared, when the dude popped his head up and it was just his head. Like I feel like in a lot of movies you could have just seen like the head go down and then the chest, like, and then like sorry, like the chest disappears, then the shoulder disappears, and then the head disappears as they're slowly walking down the stairs. But it feels like in just one foul swoop, the whole body disappears when it goes into that shadow. I thought that was really quite nice.
Yeah,
Well, I could probably
very
add
well
to the
executed.
to the economic discussion in this film because I'm gonna go into a big spiel about design here because like
Let's
there's
go.
quite a bit.
Wait, is that a towel over you, Jay?
No, this is a blanket.
A blanket. Oh, okay, yeah.
Uh,
Jaden's not wearing anything underneath.
no, yeah, just cock out your recording. um, so look, like as an architect student, I love the way the film tells the story through its and it, like the way that the structures carry its themes. It's with like the semi basement set and the multi leveled minimalist mansion, and like so like what the man what a minimalist mansion means in a country like Korea is fucking absurd. Just beyond it being a wealth and because it's being a big thing. It's the fact that it's minimalist and you're just wasting space in such a densely populated thing. But the production is something that that Joon-ho and the production designer were very keen on doing. So like that house, the two main houses were built entirely for the film to help convey their ideas of like it's like the semi basement living is meant to about obviously with like the extreme economic poor and like how like and it's like that so like just like with you talking about going into the basement it's probably
Yeah.
it's probably reminiscent
Yeah.
of that kind of thing of that idea of like when you sink down below you're sinking to the poor and like that's why the people that access the basement are only ever the poor families. So like the way that Junho uses that vertical structure of the house with the second, the first, and the basement, and then also like later on, like not later on, but like throughout the film, the Kim family house, and being only a semi basement, and the fact that light still comes through and shows they still have a chance it's interesting and it's almost cruel to the audience that they show that these people have a way of making it out, but they never do. They never actually do have it, and it's just a self delusion that they're fulfilling. And like we have a way out, but they really don't because
Well, they get it at the end, right?
but they don't. And
Because
like that's
at the end, the whole window's lit up, sort of thing.
no. And that's another thing. That's not that. So Junho was questioned about that, and he answered like they asked like, does Kevin have a chance of actually making the money and then moving out of this place? And he goes, I thought it was quite obvious that my answer was no, they don't,
Oh,
because
that's a fantasy scene.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
Obviously, yeah, with the fantasy.
Oh,
he
okay.
says that, you know, had he ended on that scene where they hug at the house, then he'd say yes, there's a chance. But he needed to be realistic because they don't have a chance. No one Paul has a chance in Korea to
That's
do that.
brilliant.
So he ends in the
Brilliant.
basement, right?
Best picture.
So like, yeah, and just like, oh, dude, and like the way that feng shui is used in the film as well, and like what, and like it's so nice, and like from a design perspective, of like the T intersection, like it is just like in terms of like a design thing, this is probably as perfect of a film you can get, like as close to a perfect film, like in terms of just like structural design and like kind of like stuff like that.
The basement is like
and I love
so, like the house basement is so like claustrophobic, like as well compared to all the space. And like how they show that as well, as I said, like the introduction to the house, it's like you get all that open space in the backyard, and then you like go into the house. It's so large, like you follow the maid, and she's like so small compared to the rest of the house. Anyway, what were you gonna say? Like, yeah.
I was going to ask Jane, because I couldn't go on another tab, because if I go on another tab, it probably shut off the recording. Anyway, I was going to ask Jane if did it actually win Best Production Design?
No, it was just nominated.
Which is nominated. Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
And I was going to ask you about the the exterior of the house, the Kim's the Park's house, but then I realized I shouldn't say anything because when directors shoot his interior scenes, the exterior scenes, they're both different. So never mind.
Well, the structure for this house was built entirely for the film, right?
Wait,
So, like,
so you're talking about the exteriors as well?
yeah.
Oh wait,
So-
no, because the second level.
Is CGI.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
So like it's like Joon-ho designed both the houses, and when they talk to an architect about it, they're actually like, yeah, no idiot would design a house like this. So like there's that. But so like the first level was then constructed in real life, and like I think like the interior spaces were actually used. But then anything for the second level was CGI'd for the exteriors, and then on a soundstage for the interiors.
Liam, I have a very important question for you.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So, as loyal Cinema Effect viewers would know, you have a basement where you lock children in.
Oh shit.
I wanted.
Is there a compartment like behind that frame that you got? The frames you got behind you?
Well, this is the thing. I wanted to ask the question as an expert in basements. First of all, can you rate the basement, the one where the dude's locked in for 4 years? Can you rate that out of 10 as the first point? And the second point, do you think you could survive in that basement?
Oh no, I lost a week. I don't know how he survives in that basement. Honestly, how's he not pale? That's one thing I thought.
How's it not pale?
Not from a vitamin D deficiency.
Yeah, he looked like kind of tanned, right?
Yeah,
Well,
dude.
like he probably like because while the housemaid was working there, he probably snuck up often, just like while
I
the
think
family
they-
was
Oh
there.
yeah,
They
it's not
did
how-
show that one time when they were dancing in the living room.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the kid did see him that one time, like the ghost.
Yeah,
I actually totally forgot about that. Like that's why he fainted at the end.
Because he
Yeah.
sees the
The
dude.
kid, yeah, which is another cool detail. I mean, it's a free basement, right? It's like it's not like a dungeon. They're not like they don't even know the rich family don't know it exists because so it's kind of interesting. It's not like
I
they
thought
keep
they
them
did
there
know.
on purpose.
no, she
Yeah,
she,
but
she makes
behind
the point
the
of saying they don't know.
shelves.
I thought that there was a specific line that said that that these bunkers were built in case of
Yeah.
nuclear war, and Mr. Park was embarrassed by it.
Mr.
I thought that there was a
No,
specific
I
line
think
where the old
the
housemaid-
architect was embarrassed by it, so he
Oh,
didn't advertise.
Yeah.
the architect. Okay, yes.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
makes sense.
Namgung was the architect's name. Yeah, Korean names.
Because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, like, surely they can find him in there after he murders him. But then I was like, oh, maybe Mr. Park is the only one who knew. He didn't tell his wife, and now he's dead, so no one can find the basement. But yeah, if it was the architect, surely they just give the architect a ring and say, hey, are there any hidden compartments in this house that this dude could hide in?
Yeah, true.
Talking about like captivity potential, though, the basement is pretty soundproof. It seems like there's no.
Very, very soundproof.
I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
yelling and like the stairs are directly above, and the guy's always like slamming his head on the thing and yelling like respect. And
But I
then,
think there were actually quite a few flights of stairs down to get to the basement. So I
Yeah,
don't think
there were.
head banging. I think if you actually went all the way up to
no.
the door itself-
He bangs his head like so the lights turn on when people walk
that's
in.
at the very bottom, right? So
Of the
that's at the
basement.
bottom of the basement. Then there's the basement sort of has the toilet here and it has the bedroom here. I feel like there was a stair up, and then it
Yeah,
went left,
yeah,
and then it went right, and then it was a stair up again.
yeah. It's like
I feel like that's a considerable distance, and that sound won't travel that
I know
far.
what you're saying. The basement is like below the pantry or whatever. But what I'm saying is like, you know, he like the stairs to the house are directly above him. You know, the basement, and he's always yelling like respect to like Mr. Park, and he doesn't hear him. Anyway, it's not relevant.
It's not
No,
relevant.
no, it is. I wondered that. I wondered how far down it was, and then like no one would hear it. I think, yeah, if he can hear the footsteps.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah,
thing is, would you not hear the yeah,
flushing of the toilet.
the flush, yeah, like the water going through the
Yeah, I think
pipes,
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
the
it goes in the
drains.
house.
Hang
Um,
on. I know. Wait. So you were going to say, Jane?
no, I was just gonna say, like, are we good to wrap up? Or, like, how much more do we?
No, because I know Zach wants to talk about this or hear this while he edits. Like, can we talk about how the fact that there was a black and white version? I know we're already 1 hour into the podcast, but like, I just want to like quickly.
Yeah,
Get your
you can
thoughts.
say it if you want.
All right.
I mean, there's
I mean,
only
the colour's good, but
There
like,
was a black and white. Did anyone watch it? I watched the color version.
it wasn't.
No,
Liam
it's-
said it at the end of the episode, but I couldn't find it.
No,
Oh,
you
right.
have to buy the DVD to get the black
Oh,
and
really?
white
Oh,
version.
no, that's
Yeah.
random. Is
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
it's
whole
not-
thing black and white, or are there certain
Yeah.
things that are in color?
No, because we joked about like why it was in black and white last week. I don't know if Zach left it in or if we were joking like post show.
Oh, he
You
did.
know, it's about it's just to emphasize like the economic disparity even more. Or
Yeah,
whatever
you
the
did
fuck.
say that. Yeah.
But I was looking at on the, just like the trivia and like the questions and shit like that. Like that is why they did do a black and white version just to just to convey the themes more clearly. But like it's not a simple washed out black and white where you just put a filter on it. Like they worked with the colorist to make sure like all the textures retain and all that shit. So like
Yeah.
it is to like ensure like you can still feel the grit and like and all that, but just like kind of
Okay.
like create more stark contrasts. So like yeah.
Luke, as a fan of On the Waterfront, would you like to watch a black and white film like Parasite?
Well, I mean, On the Waterfront is just prime viewing. Did that win a best picture?
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Get out your essays, you'll see.
Right. But so would I watch a black and white film? No.
Oh,
Not if I had the choice of color.
true.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think this film would be as good in black and white.
Like
Really? I don't think the
only
color is
option is like Snyder Cut, right? Did you guys watch that black and white? or did
Oh,
you
yeah,
watch
that's black and white.
Oh, the
I
whole
don't
thing
know.
black
I
and
don't-
white.
It's not black and white. It's just very fucking washed out.
No, there's a black and white version.
Is it?
Justice is great. Yeah, but I mean, Zach said last week
Justice.
like the color is like one of the big components in the film. I think I disagree. Like, I think this would work. in black and white.
Same.
I don't think it's a big component, but I think Zach said it was one of his favorite things. Just
Oh,
'cause,
yeah,
like,
okay.
Just because he didn't like the film, I guess. That's why he's not on the show today. So
Wait, does he mean the color of Parasite or the color of Justice League?
of Parasite.
Oh, Parasite, right? Yeah.
he had nothing good to talk about Parasite. So he
I
just
think
has an excuse about color. Sorry, Joe.
yeah, I think the color it's not a big part, but I think it is a nice part. I think the warmth that comes through in like the lighting is important and like
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, you can still get that from the black.
I
You
like
can
the
still
colours
get
in
it, but you know.
basement. That was it looked pretty nice. Liam, what did you say about the basement? How it looked pale and that stuff.
Oh, like claustrophobic. Is that one?
Claustrophobic, yeah. That's what kind of felt like the colours of the basement shots. I thought it was pretty.
Oh yeah,
It had a lot of
very
texture, a
grey.
lot of grit.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was in black and white, I probably wouldn't be able to see the image properly. But that's just my eyes. But
Yeah, I think really one of the most like as I was talking about before, when they do go downstairs for the first time, and it's a complete tonal shift for the film. I think the color of the walls, how it's sort of green grey, I think it really helps the transition. If I was watching that in black and white, I would not have the same effect.
yeah, good point. Yeah,
Definitely going down that because I'm pretty sure it's a point of view shot or maybe like point of view behind the head of the wife going down, and then it's like sort of colorful, and then it just goes like black, and then it goes into this green, and the sort of the faint overhead lights and it's just a complete tonal shift. I don't think you could get that with black and white. That would have to be color.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
True.
I don't know. I still feel like it has potential. But can we talk about how ugly the Letterboxd poster for Parasite is? It's got to be one of the worst posters I've
Let's
seen in
have
my
a look.
life. Man.
1.74 million people watched.
The more I've looked at this poster, the more like ugly I think it is. It's just like all these objects. There's like a thing that looks like the Google Chrome icon in the middle. That's what I always think of when I see it. And the eye is like underneath like Mr. Kim's leg. It's like
Oh, you're talking about the poster? Oh shit! I thought you were
the poster.
talking about the poster. I thought you were talking about Letterboxd for some reason.
Wait, do you mean the poster on Letterboxd with them standing out the side of the house and their eyes are blacked out?
Yeah, the bar.
Yeah.
on the eyes.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I
It's
think
just-
this is quite good. I
think
agree
that's
that,
cool.
that little ball in the middle is definitely off-putting. But
Is there a lot of colour in that ball, by the way, Luke? It looks like you're
There
the
is a
one.
lot of color.
A lot of colour.
Does that ball appear at all in the movie?
No, I don't think so. I can't remember seeing a ball appear in the movie.
There's
It looks like a beach ball. It's kind of weird. I think it's probably in the party.
Was it in the birthday scene, the birthday party scene?
I mean,
at all?
I mean, it must have been. It
Must
wouldn't
have
have been anywhere else.
Okay.
starting off with the casuals, Liam, what are you giving Parasite out of 10?
I'm demoting it from a 9 to an 8. I still think it's a great movie, but
Well, what
Yeah.
was Rain?
8 out of 10 is my
8 out of
rating.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
What knocked it down? Was it just the wear of watching it again?
I think I was kind of well. I think first of all, this film is a great like first time thing just because of the twists and like just the complete like surprises. But also I don't know. I felt a bit distant this time just from the characters. I don't know what it was. There was like no central person I was kind of getting onto. Like last time, I think it was like the son, I guess, but this time not as much. Mainly probably because he was just like with that high school girl.
Yeah, it's a big thing to get over. Like
Yeah.
it genuinely
A
is,
huge
yeah.
fat step.
No, it's a great movie. 8 out of 10.
Spooky.
Well, I think it's a really good movie.
Don't say 6.
Oh, damn it. I think it's good. I agree with Liam in a sense. I don't think I'm ever going to watch this movie again.
So say 10.
I think this is really a really good one-time watching film. Watch it. You've seen it. Go to bed. I think that's. But having said that, it's not because it's bad and you just go, "Oh, I'll just watch it once and that's it." That's it. It's a good movie. It doesn't have the rewatchability, but I don't think every movie needs rewatchability for it to be good.
Mm.
So I'm gonna say 5 out of 10. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna say 6 out of 10. Because no, that's wrong. I gave Little Women 6 out of 10. This is better than I'm gonna say 7 out of 10.
You gotta fucking change the way you talk about films if this is a 6 out of 10. You've done nothing but praise it pretty much.
Yeah, you praise it all
I
not.
mean, but like the thing is, I wouldn't recommend this film to anyone in my family.
What did you do? Did you like
Dude,
not
your
like
dad would love
anything
this.
about
I don't
it?
know. No, I don't think he would. He doesn't like
right.
reading subtitles.
They're just like Netflix TV show watches.
Yeah. And also, I started watching this on Stan, and it was projected to my TV, but it kept buffering, and it wouldn't work. So I said, "Screw it! I'm watching it on my laptop." So I actually switched halfway through from the TV to the laptop.
That's sad.
So that is quite sad. So
I feel
maybe
like
that's affected.
there's something else. Like, what did you not? There's gotta be like one other thing you didn't like about it.
I think it's just so far removed from what I normally watch.
Yeah.
That's
my
being
biggest
a
fault.
film
That's just,
language.
that's just
Yeah.
my. No,
No, that's
well,
true.
no, you know what?
Loves American Psycho though. What does that say about you?
I think it's actually. I think I'm actually going to change it. And final answer, I think I'm going to agree with Liam, and I'm going to give it an 8.
Hey,
Oh my
that's-
god!
I
Going
think I am
back and forth
going to
like
give it an
crazy.
8. And I know I'm being a coward for changing my answer 3 times.
No, this is the most detailed rating I've ever listened to.
But
On a
I think it's an 8. I think it is a very good movie. I think it deserved Best Picture. I don't know what it was up against. But
What's on Hollywood? The Irishman, Joker.
Irishman's too long, screw it. Joker, yeah, nah.
Wow.
Joker doesn't deserve it.
This movie deserves it. So I'm for that and that alone, I think I'm going to give it an 8.
Awesome.
Nice.
Final answer.
Mr. Newen.
Just before I give my rating, I think that was the most thorough rating I've ever listened to on a show. And if Zach cuts it out, I'll be so pissed off when I hear the final product.
Zach, cut it out, but keep Andy's comment in so that no one knows what he's talking about.
It was a 10 on my first viewing, certainly, because the first viewing, I try to like get all the direction, the storytelling, the pacing, like all the good stuff into me, and I loved it the first time. Like Liam said, great first time experience. It was a 10 out of 10 on the first viewing, but the second viewing, I did get all the good technical and the storytelling aspects into me the second time, but I was sort of nitpicky about the third act, especially how the guy carries a rock into the basement. I was pretty pissed off with that sort of decision. So it wasn't a problem to the film. I've already had this rating in my mind before going to this podcast, so I'll probably give it 9 out of 10. Just bump it down by one.
Yeah, I'll round out at a 9 out of 10 as well.
Hell yeah.
I thought this was really phenomenal.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
You know, like going into it expecting it to be a very good film, coming out and it is a very good film is like, it's honestly a rare occurrence these days because things just get over talked so much.
It is too much.
This is, yeah, it's an incredibly strong product. I wonder how time will remember it, because like I'm not sure, like it deserves Best Picture for sure, whatever, but like does it deserve to be the highest rated film on Letterboxd?
Probably.
That's something interesting as well. And I wonder if how that's going to be affected with time, and if it's going to be like a Shawshank kind of like deal where like people start just calling it, oh yeah, it's good, but you know, it's just, you know, this and kind of basic cinema.
Yeah, that was my reaction to Shawshank as well.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens this time. 9 out of 10, and that's a Parasite done. Andy, you sure you don't want to get your last comment out?
I mean, Parasite deserves Best Picture. It's not like some Asian American bullshit. It's like a very authentic Asian story. So like, the fact that it won Best Picture is probably the most tear shed moment for all Asian cinemas out there, I guess, if that makes
Do you
sense.
think it being a foreign film hurts it? Just because so many Westerners are not going to touch it?
I think
No,
Oscars touched it.
honestly, no, because if
No?
if like the Westerns that aren't going to touch it are the ones that aren't going to like it, you know. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so like it probably helps the film's
I mean,
case.
I don't know. I never had any intention of watching this movie, and I watched it for this, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here. Infernal Affairs. What about Infernal Affairs, Luke?
Infernal Affairs, I mean, The Departed is just so much better. No, I'm kidding.
No,
Infernal
you
Affairs
can
was
say what you
good.
want. I don't really care. All right, let's move on.
All right. No news this week. There is some kind of news, but I mean, like, we'll skip it for having a long show. We're gonna do what we've been watching, but we should probably do a abbreviated version again. I'm not gonna make you do 30 seconds, Andy, but I will just say let's keep them.
This was a very engaging conversation. I enjoyed this much more than Cover Hustle. I won't go to detail. I'll just go back to the old days where you guys talked about what films you watched this week, but I won't explain them, if you know what I mean. It'll be 30 seconds.
That's fair if you want to do that.
So like, I think I started the week by watching a bunch of Bong Joon-ho films before coming to this podcast. Like, Memories of Murder is probably my favorite Bong film so far, surprisingly. Like, I liked it way more than Parasite. But then when we discussed Parasite, I wonder if that should be my favorite Bong or not. It's sort of a thing where I don't know which one's my favorite: Memories of Murder or Parasite. So, yeah, this week I've watched Bong Joon-ho films. And then I also watched Persona, which is pretty fucking good. Probably one of the best lighting I've ever seen in cinematography history, where the lighting and the actors go so well together. Liam has seen it. And do you guys think reality shows qualify as a?
If you want, yeah. You've been watching the
It's not really a
Kardashians?
reality TV show, but it's
I don't
like
think it's trash or not.
it's not a reality TV show. It's a variety show. It's like, The Voice, X Factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've watched a show on Mango TV, which is a Chinese channel.
Oh, God.
I watched the last episode.
Are you the one?
No,
Fei Chang Wu-Rao? You've been
no.
watching.
It's not as legendary as Are You the One? I agree. I watched a show called Infinity and Beyond, the 10th episode, which was the final episode. It's not going to be like a seasons thing. This TV show. It's just purely for the 25th anniversary of the Hong Kong and China handover thing. You know how Hong Kong's been handed over to China for 25 years.
What's the film called? Oh, sorry, the TV show called. Sorry.
Infinity and Beyond. In Chinese, it's Sheng Bu Xi.
Oh yeah, I didn't think that Buzz Lightyear was a hit over there. I thought that was a. I thought that was a. Yeah.
It's
You
a show
forced him
that
into that one, huh?
I think Zach's going to cut this out, but like it's a TV show where a bunch of famous singers come together for 10 episodes to sing songs from the Hong Kong music scene. Like they sing the most famous songs in Hong Kong. I really loved the last episode. It capped off the Hong Kong and China handover really well. It was like a very good sort of I wouldn't say farewell because it's not going to go away, but like the song selections are really good.
And a bit of Molly Hua.
Sorry,
Molly Hua. Jasmine Flower, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the song called?
Molly Hua. You know, how ni do me ni Molly Hua.
Yeah, true.
Zach,
No, don't get it.
That's staying in. You know
That's
her.
saying, yeah.
Staying in.
But yeah, the last song was really good as well. Sung by Hak and Lee. It was Zhongguo Ren by Andy Lau. Yeah, they sang that song for the last
Chinese people.
Chinese people.
Well done.
Yeah, I didn't say that one. I remember.
It is my favorite song. It was like one of my favorite songs by Andy Lau, or probably ever. So yeah, it was a great last episode of that show. They don't want to do seasons. Like I said, it's purely for the 25th anniversary of the Hong Kong and China handover. It is like it's like a tearshed moment for us Asians. Well, not really, but like, you know, I love Chinese culture, which is why it's really important to me. The Hong Kong and China, you know, like
Dictatorship.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, since 1997, it's like really important for people who love Chinese songs.
Have you also been watching Hong Kong Chinese award shows?
Have I? No, I haven't.
No, sure.
Unfortunately, no.
There's a Hong Kong Film Awards coming up next month. That should be exciting. But, like, you guys don't watch Hong Kong films, so like it doesn't matter to you guys. So
I watched one Hong Kong film, and Liam knows all about it.
do you, Liam? Oh, is it for? Oh no, don't know.
What was that bloody terrible film you made me watch at uni? What was it called?
Fallen Angels.
Fallen
Don't
Angels.
diss it. It's like my favorite film ever.
What's it called? Sorry.
Fallen
Fallen
Angels.
It's a Wong Kar-wai film. You gotta be into art films to actually appreciate
Don't want to hear it.
films. Dude, watch it again and then you'll love it the second time.
I'm never ever watching it
I know
again.
Liam's gonna love it.
I would rather watch Artemis Fowl 12 times than watch it again.
Oh my god, how dare you! It's so cool, the vibe. It's like you gotta be like in a pissed off mood, maybe, or in a lonely mood.
Luke came in like halfway through as well, so
I did,
it's
yeah.
already a random film.
Yeah,
as it is.
exactly. Luke came in halfway. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Your highlights of the week. Sorry, I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Would you like my
Yeah,
part of the week?
yeah, you speak.
Okay. I finished watching season 3 of Umbrella Academy. That just came out on Netflix last week. Oh, sorry, this week. I think maybe on the Monday or the Tuesday.
Bit of a binge, eh?
Well, yeah. I really enjoyed the second season. The second season was like the first season. You had to introduce all the characters, so it was a little bit slow with that respect. The second season put them in a new environment, and each of the characters. Has anyone seen it?
Nah.
So it's like a superhero family sort of thing, but it's like a comedy sort of, you know.
Like The Incredibles.
No, not like The Incredibles, because The Incredibles actually care about each other sort of as a family. In this one, like they care, but they're a bit more sort of bickering, that sort of thing. Incredibles is a great film. You're welcome, Zach. I put it in. But season 3, a little bit slow. I think I prefer season 2. The opening for season 3 was awesome, though. They did a Footloose parody where the two like families of superheroes did a dance off, and they replicated the Footloose dance. That was very fun. Like the music in the series are awesome. I think it's directed by the dude who was, what was he, Jaden? Is he the lead singer of like My Chemical Romance or something like that?
Brendan Urie is the one that
Probably My Chemical.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
But it's really fun. The music in it is really good. They have really good song choices. So I finished watching that. It was pretty good. And I'm on the final legs, Jaden. You'll be pleased to know. I have only 3 episodes left until I finish Bones. I'm almost there.
Oh my
I'm
God.
almost there.
What's that, 17 seasons?
12.
12? Oh,
Let's be
okay.
sensible. Let's be sensible.
So sorry.
Isn't Bones the same thing as Criminal Minds?
How dare you? No, it's not. It's more focused on forensic anthropology, but more or less, yeah, it's a crime TV drama.
Yeah, it's like a thing you put on a Channel 7. Like it's the same shit.
Yeah,
No, it's Hawaii 5-0.
I never got around Hawaii Five O.
I don't know.
I got around all the NCIS. I got around NCIS and NCIS Los Angeles. There's another NCIS that's dog shit, so I've never watched that. They're
Mm.
making an NCIS Sydney. Hey, that's news, Jaden. They're making an NCIS Sydney. Let's go.
I think we mention that ages ago.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. I think.
You guys watch NCIS?
Because that was good.
We talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
I did. Oh, I
it was,
didn't. I
it was
didn't.
announced a few weeks ago, I think.
Was it deleted? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't
I
know.
don't remember.
Maybe
Okay.
we just talked about the post show. I don't know.
But my highlight, I've caught up on The Boys. The Boys.
I need to get around to
Prime
that.
Video.
Oh, the thing on Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I was up to I was halfway through season 2. And
You didn't even finish season 2.
No. Well, I've always like enjoyed the show, but the last half of season 2 and what season 3 has been is just like brilliant. It's just been like it's just skyrocketed in fucking quality. For me, it's become just like so much. It's like it was originally like a satire and kind of it's a scary kind of show. Like Homelander is like a scary character because he just has all this.
He's like if Superman was controlled by the government and was evil, sort of thing, right?
Yeah, if you didn't
Or
care.
not even controlled by the government, controlled by the media.
Yeah, I guess. But it's kind of like it's an infiltration kind of show, especially in the first season or so. But it just keeps like ramping up in stakes. And this last episode was just like absolutely brilliant. Like it was the best superhero fight I've like ever seen. Partly because like these characters have just been like fully like TV show version like developed and like they hold off on superhero fights in the show. Like they rarely ever happen. Like because the show is just like as I said like infiltration based. Like the people are like on these different like missions and stuff. Like when they actually like put these superheroes like against each other and they have like a real fight, a real threat of like change or something. It's like it's so great. And the last 2 episodes I think are the next like tomorrow and the next week. So I'm so excited for that. They brought in like a character in this season. It's just do you know about? Yeah, like just like Jensen Ackles, most attractive man.
He's like a douchey Captain America, isn't he? Isn't that what I think? I saw the marketing for season 3, and I think that's how they were marketing him.
Yeah,
I see like his music video on TikTok just all the time.
I can't stop that thing.
Yeah,
Rap show. Yeah. That I've listened to that so many times. But no, it's like it's so hype. It's so hype, man. I love it. And Jensen Ackles is fucking amazing as Soldier Boy. This season is just like.
Is that what his name is? Soldier Boy.
Yeah, Soldier Boy.
Oh, lovely.
But yeah, that's my highlight. What's yours, Jade?
Just quite a lot of good stuff.
Doctor Who?
You know, no, I still haven't finished Doctor Who. I'm sorry to the audience that I'm just edging you or you guys. There'll be a big explosion one day. Yeah, your name.
Luke will like that.
Yeah, sure. Have you seen your name actually?
Kimi no Nawa.
Kimi no Nawa. Yeah.
Kimi no Nawa. Is that what you watched?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. I rewatched it just because it's fucking spectacular. And it's shut up, Suki. I will kick you from the call. I'll get Liam to kick you from the call actually because
it is good. Yeah, I'll agree with you. It's alright.
Dude, it's so fucking amazing. Just genuinely like it's one of the best like sci-fi stories in my opinion that you can tell. It's simple in premise, it's just body swapping type thing, but then like it just evolves, and I love the characters so dearly, and like I love the sentiments, and like it's sentiments that you can relate to, that I can relate to quite a lot. Saving your town from a meteor type thing.
As you do on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a metaphor for Geelong.
Yeah.
I love the depiction of Japan and Tokyo, and like it makes me feel like of all like the live action like depictions of Japan, it's honestly like this guy whose name I've forgotten for the second. his depiction of Japan in like his animated films that make me feel most like I'm back in Japan. Yeah, it's just amazing stuff. And I know that's not an uncommon opinion. You know, Your Name's one of the best. You know, just it's one of the highest acclaimed anime films. Just, but yeah, I think it always deserves a mention.
Well, you know what we should do now, right? We should
What's
all book a trip to Japan,
Oh,
go to Tokyo, and record an episode where we do that movie.
no. As
You
you
have
can
no
see,
idea
this is the
how
big.
happy I'd be to do that.
Cinema
I'd be
Effect episode 231. Write it in your books, everyone.
live from
Zach to
Shibuya
pay
Crossing.
the fees.
Exactly. All the ad revenue from Cinema Effect, Zach can pay for us.
Yeah, all the ad revenue that we haven't got yet.
Should Zach come? Yeah, Zach. We'll let Zach come. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now's the part where we hand the show over to you guys, which is kind of hard this week because we've got two of you guys sitting in here. Last week we asked you what is the most overrated Best Picture winning movie, and this week we actually got a comment from Zach because Zach's not here. He says that I actually really like the majority of Best Picture winners I've seen, but to spare you boys the boring answer, Gladiator, I'll have to go with No Country for Old Men, which was a bit shocking to even me.
Whoa.
Because I thought he liked that, right? Didn't he like that? Yeah, he goes on. I'll have certainly not a bad film. I've just never really understood its acclaim, but we did a whole episode about it already. Can you believe that was 2 years ago? Crazy. Over 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
Actually, I think that's a good choice though, because like, I mean, I love the film, but like, it's it's like one of the most acclaimed like Oscar films.
Yeah.
I don't even think of it as an Oscar film. It's like acclaimed. Like,
No, neither. Yeah.
It's pretty well crafted as well by the Coen brothers.
Aiden said, can't say it's overrated, just those fantasy type movies were generally overlooked for such awards, and he's referring to Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, taking out the 2003 Oscars. Yeah, not overrated, as he says. It's just, it's something worth commenting on, which is definitely interesting. Spooky, Andy, Liam, whoever wants to go first. What's your most overrated Oscar winner?
Parasite. No.
What's yours?
Who's going to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go first, yeah.
Yeah, you go first.
No. I'm on. On the waterfront.
I get fucked.
Is that a Best Picture winner?
Liam, can we please kick him out of the call now, please? That would be awesome.
Okay. No, I liked it.
You go, Andy. You go.
Okay, I'll go. Okay. Did you guys expect me to say The Departed before coming onto the show?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently that won, but that was the only Scorsese film to win Best Picture. So I was like, it's probably an award they just want to give him for his like 30 years contributing to cinema or some shit like that. So how does a film win Best Picture if they copied the entire material off an original, slick crime thriller from an Asian?
It's not best original film. It's best picture.
You mean like how Lord of the Rings is based on a book?
Yeah. Was it actually? Because I didn't watch Lord of the Rings.
What? Are you taking the piss?
You're aware? It was in a Discord chat.
Well, you didn't. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Andy, do you think Lord of the Rings is an original film?
I thought it was. Was it not? Is it like Harry Potter where it's off the...
Okay, sorry, let me rephrase the question. Is it based on any source material or is it created by Peter Jackson?
I assume it was created, but I don't have an idea.
It's a book series.
I don't have a childhood, I'm sorry.
Tolkien. Come on.
Hello?
Oh, no, it's just J.R. Tolkien, isn't it? It's George R.R. Martin, but it's J.R. Tolkien, right?
J.R. Tolkien.
I feel bad.
You've probably got the books behind you, do you, Janet?
Oh, I think I do actually.
I think I have them as well.
Oh yeah, they're up there.
I'll see the show.
It is.
Yeah. It is.
The Departed saw my answer. I didn't want it to be my answer, but it probably is my answer. The Departed. Since it's like really high rated on IMDb and all that, I guess it is the most overrated Best Picture to me, whether you like it or not, Zach.
Isn't that funny? Andy's answer was completely blurred out. Isn't that strange?
It's strange how the audio corrupted for that part. Spooky. Moving on promptly so we can get away from this slander.
Yeah.
Oh no! Will I get banned from a channel by Zach if I slated?
No,
no.
he doesn't care. It's alright.
No. Like, the authority. Like, I had to respect that. Look,
I actually had to go on Wikipedia last night because I had no idea off the top of my head what any of these movies would be.
yeah, The Departed, that one.
And like the first thing I saw was like the first thing I said to myself, yeah, I'll just pick that. I haven't actually I think the only movies I've seen are this one, The Departed, and Lord of the Rings. I don't think
And
I've
on the
seen
waterfront.
And on the Waterfront. Yes, they're the only films I've seen. So I'm gonna have to choose a movie which I haven't seen, but the premise of it revolts me. And
Okay.
that's Shape of Water. Any
Hmm.
movie,
I
like,
don't
I think the whole point of that movie is like a girl's having sex with a fish.
That's not the point.
Like,
The
tell me
point
I'm
of the
wrong.
movie is about like
Tell
love
me I'm
finds a
wrong.
way.
Yeah.
That's so overrated. What are you
Uh,
talking about? Just watch like Aquaman or something. I don't know. Actually, don't. But yeah, I don't know that. I don't think I'm ever gonna watch that. If someone would have to convince me that it's spectacular to watch it,
We're going to invite you back on the show and review
Oh,
no.
get your opinions on it.
Liam. Oh, I don't know.
Shape of Water. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
I
don't.
have to name drop Forrest Gump here because it's just like
Oh,
it's just the most quintessential like overrated film that everyone talks
I have
about as
seen
being
it.
like
it's this
overrated.
1994 debate again, isn't it, Liam?
What's that?
It's this 1994 debate, isn't it? Where it's like Pulp Fiction, Shawshank should have won over Forrest Gump.
Wait, were they actually in competition with Forrest Gump?
I don't know. People were, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
That sounds. I actually think that sounds about right. I think
that actually makes it 10 times worse. Wow. But no, like I don't hate Forrest Gump, but I think it's like I have an obligation to mention Forrest Gump in this discussion. You know,
Mm.
Is this
What's your best Forrest
overrated?
Gump impression, Liam? Let's get
Please, no,
let's
don't.
get
That's
into
going
it
to
as
get
fast as we can.
The chocolate box dialogue. Come
Enough
on.
is like about to chocolates. No.
6 Oscars. That won fucking 6 Oscars. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
My life is
Anyway.
about chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
I don't know. I've just seen it so many times as well. It's like I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I've seen it like 4 times. It's still good.
It used to
Like,
be on
it's
the
so great.
TV on the.
Channel
It used to
9.
be on TV a lot. But
That's a good answer. I like that.
what's your most thing overrated film?
Departed.
Moonlight.
Oh come on.
Don't you mean La La Land?
That didn't win though.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Moonlight's a very good film, and like it's been called an important film because it's a social commentary, and all social commentary films have been called important because they're social. They're important films, It's like, well, I mean, just because it's an important film doesn't mean it's a good film. It is a very strong film for sure,
Yeah.
but it's not as good as people have thought as make it out to be. And I think a lot of people mistake it being an important film as it being a good film, especially like the common audience. Like, I have no doubt that the critics like fucking suck that shit up and will eat it all, and the Academy loves it obviously. And it is a good film. It's a strong product. It looks awesome. It tells a fine story. The music is brilliant, but like it just doesn't, like, we're looking at like in terms of overrated. Actually, sorry, The Godfather Part 2 is also on my list. How the fuck did I not?
Oh yeah,
Part
no,
2,
I was gonna
yeah,
ask you.
absolutely.
That was your answer, actually.
Yeah, God, fuck. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, Godfather Part 2 is the most overrated piece of shit. So, yeah.
Fuck
There we
you.
go. Big change up there.
It's a
Yeah,
breathtaking sequel. What are you on about?
it's not indie, is it?
Is The Godfather 2 regarded as better than the first one?
A lot of people say it, but like, it's equally good.
Yeah,
They won Best Picture again for some reason. So
yeah, it's not it's probably regarded on the same kind of level.
Okay, I wasn't sure if like the first one was up against a giant, and then Part 2 was up against.
It's like Empire Strikes Back.
have you seen it, Luke?
No hope.
I haven't seen it. No, I do need
Did
to
you
watch it.
Godfather with
It's
us?
long, but get to it.
What was that,
Like,
James?
weren't you watching The Godfather as we reviewed it on Cinema Effect?
No, I wasn't.
Nah, he didn't watch Comfort Hustle either, which upsets me.
Yeah, poor commitment from you, speaking.
Sorry.
I think that brings us to the end of the episode, doesn't it, Liam?
Yeah.
Is that where we ended off? Yeah, cool. Next week's question we're asking you is what your favorite movie with the city in the title is, and why are we asking them that, Liam?
Because I'm not gonna be here. Zach and Jaden are doing In Bruges, which is on Netflix. Comedy
Netflix.
crime film with what's his name?
Colin Farrell
Colin Farrell, yeah,
and
other guys.
Brendan
Brendan Gleeson,
Gleeson.
Gleeson,
Yeah.
the
and
Irish.
Rafe Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes. Oh, he's so good in that film. Just worth checking it out, Luke. If you're not going to be here next week.
I mean, I'm on holidays, so technically I have no excuse, but I'm sure I can
Yeah.
find one if I try really hard.
Just go on Stan and then
Maybe we draft one of you guys again next week to fill Liam's hole.
Maybe.
maybe. I
Maybe.
enjoyed today's podcast.
Mm.
Not gonna lie.
With regards to the question, Jaden, does the city have to be real or can it be fictitious?
I was thinking about that. I'm like, I mean, I don't
Taiwan's
really
a
give a
city.
shit. I think I prefer a real one, but like, I don't give a shit.
Well, have we asked a question with regards to like what's your favorite fictional world?
I think so. I think we
We
actually have. I remember it was like, yeah, like Blade Runner 2049 was like an answer, I think. Like, yeah.
Liam, well, when you went to Hong Kong, did people say it was a country or a city?
Did people say? I couldn't understand that they weren't speaking English.
What do you mean? They speak English in Hong Kong.
No, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it was a country
I can't remember.
or a city? I was just thinking because there was a film called Made in Hong Kong, and I don't know if I should use that as an answer, even though I haven't seen it yet.
No, Hong Kong's a country. I'll classify right now for you that Hong Kong's a country. and you can't
Preferably,
use it as your answer.
preferably you should have seen the film as well. That's probably a good thing.
You
to
can't
have
just
seen
pick
the
a
film.
movie you haven't seen.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
was
like-
wondering. I was just getting Liam's opinion
But yeah.
because he's been to Hong Kong, so like, got to get his opinion first.
Yeah.
I mean, Spooky spent 2.5 months in China. I think he's probably more qualified. Huh?
Yeah, but like the one country, two systems, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or is it the other way around? I don't know. I'm pretty dumb.
I don't know.
Anyways, just wrap it up.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening to the show this week.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
it's
listening.
been a decent one.
you
Thanks
so
to my
much.
guests, Spooky, Luke, rather,
Hello,
and
hello.
Andy. And thanks to Liam as usual. He's always there. Well, he won't be there next week. And goodbye.
Yeah.